Hey friends, welcome to Wild Fern Homestead. My name is Amber, and today we are going to do a property tour. So as you can see behind me, here is the house on the existing property. Again, this is property that belonged to my great-grandparents, and then my grandparents, and my mom lived here for a bit when she was younger, and then now my husband and I have possession of the property, and we are in the process of making some updates to kind of turn this into our homestead. So I just wanted to give you a look around so you can kind of see what is here currently, so you can kind of see some of the befores. So again, here is the house. Over here you can see there are a lot of trees behind me, and it kind of goes up the driveway up that way. And we are on a little over 7.5 acres. There is the garage over here, and then back behind me, back this way, is the garden. And we are planning on adding on to this existing structure in this area here. That is our plan. And so we are hoping to add on some extra living space up here. And I will just give you a tour. In this area here, there are a lot of flowers and plants that my grandma had in this space. Back behind me over this way, we've got some berry bushes and things back here in this area. We've been working on clearing off this wood line. Back in this area is the garden. This is where my grandparents always had their garden in this space, and we currently have 4 raised beds and some tubs. You can see here we've got some tomatoes and basil in this bed. We've got some peppers, some sunflowers and other flowers here in this front bed. In this back bed we've got some corn and pumpkins, and then in this bed here we had some peas and potatoes, and we actually just harvested our potatoes today. We had some russets and some red potatoes, so we pulled all of those up. Our peas are pretty much spent. We've harvested all we can harvest off of those, so I really need to get those out of the ground. We had some issues with a vole stealing some of our tomato plants this year, straight under the ground. So we had some friends and family give us some extra tomato starts that they had, so I actually have them here kind of on the other side where these peas are, but they're still fairly short. I don't know if they will grow big enough to produce much, but we'll kind of do an experiment and see. Back here in this area behind the garden, you can see there's the tree line back there. We own a little ways past that tree line, so all of this grass space here, we eventually would like to expand our garden back into that space. Eventually I would like to get maybe a hoop house or a greenhouse, and I'd like to build like a garden and maybe a seed starting shed back in that area eventually, and maybe get some goats. We also plan to get some chickens at some point. Right now I think instead of having a stationary coop, we might do a mobile coop. You can see around our garden now we use this electric poultry netting. So we are eventually going to re-fence in the garden once we add some more garden beds and use a more permanent structure for the fencing. We have a lot of deer and other critters that like to feast on the plants in this area, so we will be fencing that in, and then once we do that we can use this poultry netting to move around our mobile chicken coop and kind of protect our chickens from predators at that point. And down this way, you can see this is the back part of the house. There is a deck there, and we can walk this way. Right now there's just some flowers and stuff around this deck area. It's kind of overgrown. My grandma had a lot of flowers and stuff here in this area. This bottom porch area, the kitchen is actually right through there. So this would be a great place for us to have like a cottage garden. So that's what I would like to do here. It is on kind of a slope. It kind of goes down this way. So what I'd like to do is kind of do a terraced cottage garden in this area and have things like our lettuces and herbs and maybe some cherry tomatoes and more daily harvest type of things. Again, we are not living here right now. We are still just in the process of updating and renovating the house itself. And then hopefully within the next year, it is our goal to sell our current house and move down here. So right now, the garden that we do have here, we also have one at our current house that has more of our everyday veggies in it. So like our lettuces, which we have a couple of tomatoes at our other house. We've got a lot of green beans that are coming on, so we're harvesting a lot of green beans. We've got some cucumbers at our other house. So here at this house, it's mostly the longer harvest stuff right now, like our sauce tomatoes and peppers, corn, pumpkins, things like that. That will take a little bit longer, that we'll kind of harvest all at once later at the end of summer and beginning of fall. And then down this way we have, again, the bottom porch area, and right through, turn this way, right through this door here, that window is where the kitchen sink is. So the kitchen is down here, and we have a lot of space down here. Behind me is all trees. Eventually we would like to add some more edible landscaping through here, but really we just need to clear out some of the vegetation that's here now and kind of push that wood line back a little bit. There's a lot of forsythia, which is rather invasive, so we would like to clear that out and kind of replace that with more edible bushes. Again, we have a lot of deer, so that'll kind of be an experiment, and we'll just have to see how that goes. And behind me right now, I don't know if you can see, the sunlight is kind of strange, and we've got a lot of trees and bushes and flowering bushes here. You can see here's a wisteria. There's also a magnolia in there, and we are nearing the front of the house again. So you can kind of see we are back to the front of the house. So we basically just did a loop around that. I'm excited. We've got this weeping cherry tree here. It is beautiful in the springtime. I've always wanted a weeping cherry, so I'm so glad that my grandma decided to plant that, and it gets nice and big and pink and flowery in the springtime. So again, that is our kind of the down and dirty property tour. We hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and we will hopefully maybe do some garden tours, a little bit better garden tour of this property and our current property in the near future. So thanks for watching, and we hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.